Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our new session in the series of the preparation for the business plan. We would like to welcome you all for this session of today, and we would like to extend our gratitude and appreciation to the TRA for the amazing efforts being conducted to you to avail such topics to all the participants through the TRA Virtual Academy. We would like to thank all the team behind the scene that been spending hours and hours to make this session active for you right now. Welcome. My name is Nizar Sami. I am an innovation in entrepreneurship and management of technology consultant. I will be happy and really delighted to be with you today to go through the journey of implementing the wonderful ideas that we have, that where we started to move from the basic idea will we reach our products and the services right now. During this session of today, we're going to shed the light about the operations plan, resources, how we do that, and so on. So please be ready. Try to map all what we are going to discuss together with your application, and please feel free to post your questions at the end of the session. We will be able to answer your questions. Please stay tuned, and please, for any any thoughts, any ideas you have in mind, please put it on writing, and we'll be able to cover this for today, inshallah. So in the last few sessions, or the couple of sessions before, we have been addressing the business model, have been addressing the value proposition, and so on and so forth. So all these topics right now, like a bird view, we have went through this exercise. So we answered some sort of good questions, such as what's the issue or problem we're trying to solve, for which type of customers, how we are going to solve them through our wonderful, amazing ideas, how to reach our customers, and how to make money. So we cover these points through the different previous sessions. Right now, we will go deeper. We will go in depth how to implement such things. What are the considerations I need to think about? I'm right now I'm a formal present. I am building my own enterprise. I'm building my own startup right now. So what are the considerations I need to take care in order to make this wonderful business model implementable and going down to earth? So stay tuned. Part one, we said every business is subjected to constraints. You have a lot of pressure all around you. You can see people in your enterprise, when we run a startup, thinking of or tackling some nice ideas. For instance, when we should go to the market, when we should start our implementation, when we should start our activities or our services. How much this will cost me? Is this too much? Is this too low? Can you make it a bit lower in price? Can you do some sort of so what do we actually do? What is our core business? And other things that said we don't have resources. Okay, we need people, we need machineries. So what are the different types of resources we need to have in our enterprise or in our coming startup in the quality? How about quality issues? So what does it mean, quality? Quality, in its very basic thing, it is how to meet customer expectations. So who is my customer? What are the requirements? We need to answer all these type of questions. Last but not least, are you ready to take the risk? You are an entrepreneur by nature. So entrepreneurs are all about taking risks, because as you may know that entrepreneur is like, it's a French language. It means entre and preneur. It means between and taker. So it is a transition stage. You'll not be being an entrepreneur all the life. It is in transition stage till you have like a stable, sustainable businesses. This is what we are talking about. How to make your business operating, sustainable from now on, based on what we have been discussed in our wonderful business model. So If I talk about the organization, so let's give some glimpse about what is the definition of organization. I can hear from you right now that some of you is saying, yes, we are a group of people together with a common interest to achieve something or some purposes. However, if we have formal goods or services to be produced, then this type of goods and services is to meet customer expectations. Peter Drucker, he is the guru in modern management. Actually, he's the good father of the modern management. Is the one who developed the management by objectives technique. He said, the only purpose to start business is to find customers. So we need to define our customers crystal clearly. We have to focus. In the business model and the other topics we discussed earlier, we defined like a very good bunch of list of customers. But now we need to go down to earth. We need to test these type of customers. We need to assure what they are looking for. What is the pain? Do they have pains or not? And therefore, it comes the ratio of what we call the value proposition. So customers, they acquire our product and services because it is nice, but exactly because we have a wonderful value to be created. So value creation is the key essence of the session of today. So if we look to this graph, you will see for any enterprise, for any institution, for any organization, for any startup, even though we have inputs, and then we go through a transformation process, and then we reach our output. So what is the input? The input simply is defined as resources. So what are the resources? Resources are anything that I need to have the final product or service in place. Those type of resources can be classified into two categories. It could be tangible resources and intangible resources. Tangible resources such as manpower. So what about the team? And we're going to discuss idea about the team and what are the credentials that I need to put and focus on with my team. So manpower is one of those resources. Equipment, machineries, you may need those type of machines and equipment to develop your product or service. This is another type of resource. Again, we have access to raw materials, for instance, and so on and so forth. So we have a good list of resources that we need to deploy. So all these resources will be into the transformation where interacting together efficiently and effectively. Remember these two words, because when we talk about operations, we are addressing efficiency and effectiveness. So efficiency, it means best utilization of resources. How we are going to utilize these resources with no leakage, with no waste, in order to maximize the results. So best utilization of resources is meant by to be efficiency. And how about effectiveness? Effectiveness, it means reaching my target. So what will be my target? My target is to produce qualified products. Then we come up to the output. So we have input, so in order to assure a seamless operation in that, we need to focus on things such as utilizing the resources in a proper way, how the resources are going to deal together, how to reach the final product in a proper way. We need to do some sort of testing. We need to do some sort of qualification to assure that our product is matching our customer expectations. And this is the journey of the operation that we are going to cater today together, inshallah. So let's play a quick game and give me your attention. What do you see in the screen right now? We all did this at certain point of time in our lives. We play the puzzle. So let us focus on a little bit about the puzzle game. So we're going to tackle some important issues in this case, and we will reflect this back into our startup. So my first question to you, if I have these pieces of the puzzle scattered, okay, disconnected, and I want to build this nice puzzle. So what is the first thing that I need to do to make this nice design in place completed? Yes, exactly. The first thing we need to do is to see the big picture. So I may get the box, or I may get the booklet of the puzzle, and then I have to look into the picture, the big view. So the picture actually is what we call vision. So the first thing we need to assure before we go deeper into operation is that we know our vision. So the vision is a doable dream. How you see your enterprise, how you see your startup, how you see this amazing, wonderful idea coming to the reality. It's a doable dream. It is not reality. It's not existing right now. It will be one of the top startups in doing so and so. So, do you have a dream in mind? Do you have a dream for your startup or not? This is a very good, important question. We need to stop and we need to relax and then think about our vision. This is one thing. The second thing we need to think of is we need to build this puzzle in high speed and effective way. We call this a mission statement, or the purpose, or the reason for existence. Why you are here, why you are doing this, why you are collecting pieces together. This is our mission. So, what is the mission of your company? What is the mission of your startup? You need to define exactly. The mission and the objectives is extremely important. So, if you would like to connect these pieces of the puzzle in fast, okay, with less effort, efficiently and effectively, what shall we do? How we can think of this? What are the different methods or methodologies we can start with? Definitely, there are a lot of methodologies we can follow. For instance, a gentleman is going to say, we will going to collect the similar colors together. Other gentleman is going to say, I will start with the borders and corners. Third person is going to say, okay, gentlemen, guys, I will going to divide the shape into 3, 4 quadrants and then collect each quadrant together. Wow, amazing idea. So these are methodologies. So way of thinking, how to collect pieces together in efficient and effective and easy and fast way. Methodologies, way of thinking are known as strategy. So strategy is a way of thinking. Give me your thoughts about it. So for your startup, again, think about what is your strategy? How we are going to do this mission. So the mission is the purpose, the reason for existence. And the mission is what we do to reach our vision. So this is the sequence. We have the vision, then a mission, then a strategy. Okay. So the strategy is a way of thinking. Think of a football game, and one of the teams, their strategy is to go defensive strategy. So how do they implement this defensive strategy? They will implement the strategy through plan. So we need to plan the 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 mission. So you started to implement the mission through the vision, and the vision, then the mission, then the strategy, then the different types of plans. This is how we should start thinking about our enterprise. So have a vision for your enterprise. What about the mission statement? Think about your strategy and then the implementation plans. So let's think about the implementation plans and what is my role actually to do in this business. So my role is to do a lot of things as if I am the founder of the enterprise or the founder of the startup, or I am doing things with my colleague. Think about the following. I need to do planning. So I need to answer the question, what to do and why to do. So this is when it comes to the issue of planning. So this is the first thing I need to think of when I'm starting to try to connect the bits and pieces of the puzzle together. The second thing is to answer the question, who is doing what and when? And then we came up with the idea of organizing. So organizing, it means that I need to think who's doing what and when. So I need to think about my people. I need to think about my team. What are the credentials? What are the skills needed? And so on and so forth. So people start to do implementation. So I need to give them guidance. I need to direct them from every now and then. So I do some sort of leading, motivating my team, push them to the next level. At the end, I need to assure that everything is in place, in the right position, where we come up with the control functionality. Okay, so these are the main functions that I may think of that I need to have to implement successfully my idea. Now, we are going to move from one place to another to see how things are being developed for our enterprise. So let's start with this about the team. This is a most important part when you talk about the startups, uh, about your team. It's all about the issue of trust. Building trust is extremely important. So when you talk to an investor or you talk to somebody else who would like to help you, or you want asking people to help for help, he or she is going to ask you, who's your team? And this is an extremely good question. And you need to think about it. It is all about building trust between you and others. So please assure the following, that I have the appropriate team players. Entrepreneurship is all about team game. It's about teamwork. So this is the deal. In order to have a successful enterprise, or a successful startup, you need to have the following types of team members. First, you need to have the ideator guy. The ideator guy is the person who is responsible of generating new ideas, spotting opportunities, listen to customers. So I need to have this ideator. I need to have the techie guy. Who's the techie guy? Who's the one is going to do the implementation? Who knows about the technicalities, about doing the job? So I need to have the techie guy with me. The third personality that should be there in place is about the promoter. The guy is going to promote, the salesperson, the marketing person. So the marketing functionality is extremely important, because remember when we talked about in the business model, we addressed something called the distribution channels. The channels, how to reach your customers, is extremely important. So you need to have this person who's going to do this for you. One of the most important things is to have the financial guy who's going to be responsible for the money, cash in, cash out, and all these terminologies. So we need to have 4 characters in our team. Okay, so we need to have the ideator. Maybe I am the founder, I am the ideator. I need to have the techie person who's going to do the implementation. We need to have the promoter, where we can go to market, and we need to have the financial guy. So there are a set of skills and competencies needed for each and every person from this type of people that we need to talk about. Actually, we need to talk about 3 levels of skills needed in our team. Whether I'm the ideator, even the techie guy, or even the promoter or the financial person. What are these type of skills? We need to assure that we have three types of skills with everybody. Number one, we need to assure about the technical skills. What does it mean, technical skills? It means that I know about what I'm doing. So, for instance, the finance guy or the financial guy is good and extremely talented in finances and calculations. The promoter guy is good in marketing, so he has very good technical skills. This is what we need to do. He's the profession, the professionality in this. The second part of the skills is the human skills. So, how to do discussions, how to be open to work together, um, how to be friendly, how to be negotiator, okay, how to talk and deal with people every day. Imagine what 90% of your time as a founder of a startup or anybody in the startup is consumed in communication, communication, and dealing with people. So, am I introvert? So I don't talk, I don't go the extra mile, or I am extrovert, so I'm social enough. We need to assure this type of skill with our team. So human skills are extremely important. Last but not least is the conceptual skills. Conceptual skills, it means the high level of thinking. So it's all about concept. Okay, I have analytical skills. I have some sort of capability to solve problem. The marketing guy may have problems in dealing with day-to-day operation. The finance guy, as well as the rest of the team. So do we have this type of conceptual skills? How to think strategically, how to think in a visionary way, how to collaborate, how to solve the problem. So this is a third level of skills that we need to have. So technical skills, human skills, and conceptual skills. So again, focus in your team about the type of characters that we need to have. We need to have 4 characters in our startup: the ideator guy, the promoter guy, the techie guy, and the finance guy. Each of which should have 3 types of skills: human skills, technical skills, and conceptual skills. Sound easy? Yes, but you as a founder of a startup, you need to assure that these things are already in place in your team to have a very synergetic and very cohesive team. Okay? Think about something important, that sometimes people would like to join you because they have something in their mind. So what's in it for you and what's in it for me? We need to be ready for such question and to be ready for such answer. Now, if I have this big dream, which is the vision, and I do set of activities to reach specific goal. So what is my goal? How to set goals for our startup or the coming period? So this is the recipe. First, you need to review the mission or the purpose or the reason for existence, why we are here together. So we have to have this in place. Everybody in the startup should live this. The techie guy should understand exactly the mission statement, the finance guy as well, and the rest of the team. And each and every person should understand this mission and then reflect it back in their specialization. So understand and review the mission statement. Then check the available resources. What are the available resources that we have? Oh, we wrote that in the business model. Yes, exactly. You wrote it in the business model. It's a snapshot. But now we are going down to earth, from the bird view to walking in the street. So review the available existing resources. So what is the case if I don't have available resources? The answer is quite simple. You have in the business model mentioned the key partners. So the role of partners is to give you access to resources, for instance. If you don't have access to resources, so think about how I'm going to get this type of resource. In the operation plan, we need to get things functional. So that's why we need to go down to earth. So let's do the available resources. Check the resources availability. And then after we allocate the resources and we understand the mission and the reason for existence of our startup, and then we will ask each and every person, or we're going to define the goal for each and every one. Okay, Mr. X, you need to do so and so and so. Mrs. Y, you need to do and so and so and so on and so forth. Then we need to communicate this together in order to assure that everybody is homogeneously connected. We don't need to work in silos. We don't need to work in a vacuum. We need to work collaboratively and collectively. Why? Because we mentioned earlier that in the operations management, we talk about the efficiency and effectiveness. Okay? And again, efficiency, it means best utilization of resources. Effectiveness means reaching our target. Then, after we go to work, start implementation, we need to review the results. How is life is going? Are we on track or not? So if you are on track, then this is good, pretty cool. If not, we need to do some sort of adjustment, and this I'm going to cover in shortly right now. So in order to develop this type of goals, we need to set different types of plans. Whenever we set a plan, or there is a word plan, it is related to things to do over timeline. So what you're going to do today, tomorrow, next week, after 1 month, after 6 months from now. Therefore, there are different types of plans we may need to know more about. These are the different types of plans. We have operational plan, which is the day-to-day things. When I go to my office, either virtually or physically, what I'm going to do for my day, for the rest of my day. This is the operation plan. Sometimes I need to do short-term plan. Okay, I will do something for a couple of days. Or I need to have a specific plan for instant recruiting or distribution or marketing. Okay, I may have some what we call single-use plan. Okay, I will do it for once and that's it, once and for all. I'm not going to repeat it again. So how frequent is your plan? So think about your time frame, the specificity, the frequency of use. Okay, so these are different types of plans. Okay, when we talk about operation plan, it is what we do in a daily basis in order to get our product and services up on the street. So we have resources, put them into a transformation process, and then we reach our target at the end of the day. Do you think there are some relations between the type of plans and the levels of people within the startup? The answer is yes. So the founder of the startup, he has something to do, while the normal assistant or the operator, he has something else to do. So therefore, we need to define the relations between the top management or the founders of the startup, for instance. They have what we call a strategic plan. Strategic plan, it means about what to do to reach this ultimate goal. While the normal operator, they have what we call the operation plan. Okay, I will open the machine, I will do so, I will add X and Y together, and I will do some sort of typing in order to get my product up and running on the surface. So we have strategic plans and we have operational plans. Right now, we set the goals, we understand the level of plans. So how are we going to distribute work? We need to create what we call the WBS. What is WBS? It's the work breakdown structure. In the work breakdown structure, this is the key point. This will help you a lot in your plans. So actually imagine that our product or our service or even our startup is a black box. In order to penetrate this black box, we cannot do it at once. We need to divide it into chunks. So in the work breakdown structure, we cascade our product. We break down our services to the tiny, smaller element. Okay, so we'll go for the high level. For instance, give you an example for this. I have a company, or my startup is doing a software application for a health check. Okay, what are you going to do actually? What's your mission in life? Okay, my mission is to develop state of the art, okay, healthcare mobile app for our customers. Amazing. So what's your strategy in this? My strategy, my way of thinking, to do like a partnership with one of the reputable organization in this area. Okay, so what is the goal? So the goal for the first year, we're going to tackle the youth from age of 18 to 25. Fantastic. How are we going to do this? Break it down. So okay, let me think of something. We need to have marketing activities. We need to have software development. We need to have testing. So how about marketing? Okay, break it down. Okay, marketing. We need to do some sort of social media marketing. Pretty cool. How about TV and satellite channels advertising? Okay, nice. How about the knocking doors system, where we're going to visit some schools or some universities to promote? Okay, so I'm breaking down the big chunk, which is marketing, into smaller element to be able to be digested. So tell me more about the social media marketing. Okay, I need to break it down again. Okay, we'll go for Facebook ads, Instagram. Okay, we may use Twitter as well. Good. So what are we going to do on Twitter? We need to prepare an artwork or graphics. We need to add posts. We need to share a news every appropriate time slot. Okay. How about Instagram? What are we going to do? Again, break it down till the executable tasks. This is extremely important. So the work breakdown structure is not a flow chart. It's not a flow chart. It is like the menu in the restaurant. When you go to the restaurant and you have the menu, you can start from anywhere. But the result of your menu is that you have the whole overview of every single thing that you need to know about the restaurant in the food or then the meals. This is the same thing. We reach from the high level to the executable level. This is extremely important, ladies and gentlemen, because right now in the operation plan, we are talking about implementation. When talking about go down to earth, go to market, and therefore we need to do things, to execute things. So the work breakdown structure, we can build it from top down or bottom up. So top down, so I am the founder, I came, okay guys, I think that in order to have a successful enterprise or successful startup, we need to follow this type of thoughts. This is top down, as I did right now in the example. Another way, you can say, okay guys, let's do a brainstorming session together. Let's sit together and agree upon what do we need actually to have or to implement in order to have a very reputable and successful startup. Okay, give me your idea, give me the other idea, and then I collect all the ideas together, group them together, and then build the whole tree. So we start from bottom up. Whether it is top down or bottom up, they will reach the same results. The beauty of having work breakdown structure is you can easily assign responsibilities. So in the screen, you see 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. Okay, guys, who's be responsible for 1.0? Okay, Mr. X. Who's going to be 2.0? Mr. Y. 3.0, Mr. Z. Wow. So I assign responsibilities. So you assign responsibilities based on the talents, based on the capabilities, based on the competencies. So what about the competencies? We talked about technical competencies, we talked about human competencies, we talked about conceptual skills or conceptual competencies. So it is fitting, you are fitting your team within the tasks. Okay, who's going to do 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, and so on and so forth. So in order at the end to assure that nothing will fall in the crack, between cracks. This is extremely important. Okay, so having the big picture, putting things together in the work breakdown structure, and then you can easily do the time plan. You can do something like this using one of the tools, a nice tool, which is the Kanban board. You can easily do it with your team. It's nice game. This Kanban board, you can find some templates on the internet, but you can set the phases of the implementation. Okay, use the sticky notes and put them on stickies. So this, for instance, these are the different phases. These are the different milestones. These are the different stages where my startup or my application will go and develop till the end. So at each milestone, there are set of or group of tasks or activities to be done. So you write at every stage the task and the name of the developer or the name of the person who's going to implement. And again, be sure that this person is qualified, has the right skills that needed for this task. So you can see where I do right now, where is the question mark. If there is any leakage in the system or there is any problem, then you can think of need to have like a corrective action at the moment to reach the ultimate goal, which is the final product in place. So a Kanban tool is a nice tool where, okay, so we can do something like this. When you go back to the work breakdown structure, let's consider like 1.3.1 is the task executable element at the end, which is being the responsibility of Mr. X at the end of the day. And you put this in the board. So get the final executable tasks from the work breakdown structure, put them in a sequential or a series of time, and see how much time is needed in order to implement your product. Okay, when you think about time planning for the project, please be conservative as much as you can. What does it mean conservative? It means that you need to assure to be surely, slowly, and surely, because in the implementation of the business model, we have the wishful thinking, we have the whole bright images, but in the operation plan, we have things that is exactly or actually implemented on place. So we need to be realistic. Okay, what I'm going to implement today, do I have the sufficient resources? It will take 3 hours. So how to define the working times? How to get the appropriate time for each task? We have different methodologies to do so. First, we can ask the expert. So if I have the financial guy or if I have the promoter guy or the techie guy, those are the experts. Please ask them, how long does it take? So this is one thing. The other thing is to review the history. If you did it before in any other context, please recall this part of information and try to map it here. Or do a mathematical model for them. Okay, simple calculation. A plus B, they can equal to some sort of time. Or we can go for the optimistic time and the pessimistic time, okay, where everything is bright and clear and everything is fine, or we can struggle, or we can have something like what we call the best case scenario and the worst case scenarios. Okay, put these activities together, in a sequence, in a logical framework. So remember the word logical sequence. Who is the task? What is the predecessor? What is the successor? This is the logical sequence. This is the secret sauce of implementing your successful idea. Okay, so people will start right now. So we did planning, we did organizing, so we identified who's doing what when. So people start to do implementation. My role in this case is to give them some insights. Okay, right direction, very good guys. Motivate my staff. Okay, I will do this in behalf of you. I will take this the moment to talk to the senior person in this type of an institution. So I help the whole momentum, pushing them forward to reach our goal or to reach our wildest dream, which is the vision. Okay, don't forget the purpose, don't forget your mission. And then it comes the area of monitoring and controlling, evaluation. Okay, are we good or bad? Are we performing well or not? So we need to agree upon something. The golden rule in this area: if you cannot measure it, you will never manage it. If you cannot measure it, you will never manage it. So from now on, please make sure that anything you are going to dictate or to put with your team is measurable. Remember when we talked about the goals and the objectives and the targets? Okay, we have a statement that called SMART. Smart targets, smart objectives. SMART, S stands for specific. M stands for measurable. A stands for achievable. R stands for realistic. And T stands for time bounded. So put smart targets, smart objectives. Those you put them in Kanban tool. Okay, now we agreed upon what we need to measure, and then we need to agree upon to determine the norm or the standard. So for instance, if I have a call center in my startup to receive calls from clients, so the average time to response to the call is 12 minutes. So we need to agree in this type of norm, the benchmark, the level, where if we exceeded this level, then we have question mark. If it is not, then we are doing fantastically good. And then perform measurement. If you cannot measure it, you will never manage it. Okay, so do some sort of measurements. And then let's do the comparison. So if the actual performance is equivalent to the design or the planned performance, then we are good. Okay, and then we can get the lessons learned out of that. What we did correct to make it happen in this way. If there is any discrepancy or differences, then we need to create what we call corrective action. Okay, so we need to define what we call corrective action in order to assure that everything is operating smoothly in the process of our startup. Our startup is like our baby. You need to give a lot of concentration, a lot of care about it, okay, to make it successfully implemented. So, can I measure anything in my startup? The answer is yes, but think about key indicators, because we have a lot of things we can measure. For instance, the arrival time of our employees. If we go to the office, for instance, okay, is this a meaningful indicator for my performance? Oh, question. It depends. So we pick the indicator that we envision will help us to reach our goal. So we set the goal previously, few minutes ago. So what do you think that is extremely important to follow or to look at it with our looking glass to assure that this target is achieved. This is what we call the key indicators. We have people, they did that under what we call the balanced scorecard. What is the balanced scorecard? It's a nice tool, by the way, to set it for our startup from day zero. First in place, you need to think about learning and growth perspective. Okay, it's a balance. It means everything in homogeneity and equality. So think about learning and innovation and learning and growth. What do I need to do to develop my products and services to reach maturity? Maybe I need to develop some sort of training courses, training programs to my staff. Yes, we can do this in learning and development. And there's some other things from the internal processes. What are the things need to be done to my process in order to be performing efficient and effective? So if I have an internal customer, which is the employees, then they do something which is the process to get my customers. So the third perspective is the customer. So what are the indicators for the customers? And then any startup or any entrepreneur is looking for money, financial indicators. So what are the financial indicators? Okay, cash flow indicators, sales growth indicator, percentage of income, ROI. All these financial terms are extremely important to follow to assure that my enterprise or my startup is performing well. So this is another diagram. We can set objectives, measurement, set the target, and how to implement this for each and every pillar of the pillars of the balanced scorecard. Therefore, we came up with what we call the KPIs, key performance indicators. Okay, so we started with the vision, we went through the mission, then the strategy, then the plan. And then we talked about what shall I do? We do planning, organizing, leading and directing, monitoring and controlling. And then we define our goals and targets. And remember, our goals and targets should be SMART. And then we did what we call a work breakdown structure. We divided the work, and then we assigned responsibility to that. We talked about the responsibility of each and every person in our startup. Okay, technical skills, human skills, conceptual skills, and then we did plan. So we took this type of tasks and we put them on a chronological sequence or a logical framework using some sort of tools such as Kanban tool, and then people start to do the implementation, the day-to-day operation. At the end, I'm sitting at the end of the day and monitoring through my watch screen or my dashboards or my KPIs, key performance indicators. You need to assure that you are on the right track, not to be deviated. Okay. At the end, we need to put them together in one pot. This is what we call the purpose of the operation plan. So the operation plan, it describes how we will run our businesses and to reach our customers. It defines the process to deliver our products and services. Okay, it is extremely important to define our competitive edge. Why competitive edge? Because we have resources, so we have best utilization of resources, we have transformation process, and we have at the end of the day the product and services. All this, what we call, we create the value. Okay, so even if you are doing product or doing a service, they have always subjected by operations. So my operation plan should include the following. What is my operation strategy? So we talked about strategy. Strategy is a way of thinking. Okay, how you are going to create value to your customers, how you are going to win in the marketplace, how you will be more competitive in the marketplace. So what we do, so the scoping, so what is the order size, what is the lead time for operation, is there any way to communicate? So we need to define exactly what we are doing to do. And then what are the major steps needed? Is there any some sort of technical challenges that you are facing? Okay, how about intellectual property protection? How about testing our product and services? How about the skills needed? How about the equipment, hardware and software, and so on and so forth? So we need to develop something like this. At the end, what about your financials? So think about the costs, think about the financial impact, financial return, and the capacity in that direction. Remember, if you cannot measure it, you will never manage it. Okay, so we need to assure that everything are in homogeneity. Think about the puzzle again and again. The puzzle is the key sense of your startup. Everybody is going to put bits and pieces in everywhere. Okay, we are frustrated. We don't achieve anything because we are consumed, we are drained, because we don't have vision, we don't have mission, exactly what we need to do. We don't have a strategy, way of thinking, and we don't have implementation plan. By this, ladies and gentlemen, we reach the end of our presentation. Uh, right now, it's your turn. You have the green signal right now to go. Start to think of your enterprise, start to think of your presentation, of your startup, and then wish you all the best. And we are right now ready to receive questions from you. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure being with you today. So, questions, if you have any question, please post it and I'll be following with you right now. So, till we receive some sort of questions, uh, let's put the whole story together. We started with the value proposition. We started with define a pain for our customers. So we defined the exact, and then we go for uh, develop a solution for this type of customers. And then we built like a business model. Very nice, 9 blocks together. We can see that people are connected together. Fantastic. And then we need to take this nice 9 blocks into implementation. So we need to think about resources and operations plan. So, uh, study of the organization, it is system where inputs are interacting together through transformation process till we reach the output. So the inputs are the resources. Each resource should be combined with the capability. So what does it mean, capability? It means what do I need to have in this type of resource? Okay. Uh, so, uh, for instance, um, we need to define our customers. We need to define the resources needed. We'll take this into the transformation process, um, and then we'll go for the final product and service. Okay. Uh, we have a question right now about the balance between the customer perspective and financial perspective. Thank you very much. This is a very good question. Okay. Remember when we talk about the balance scorecard, okay, what does it mean balanced? It means every part of this scoring card is balanced. It means equal, or they are on the same level. Okay. So, having this, it means that your customer is the one is going to pay the money. This is one side. And if we call the business model, you have the cost structure and you have the revenue streams. Okay. So what you need to know exactly is to provide value for your customer. As I mentioned earlier, that Peter Drucker said the only purpose of having a business is to find customers. So we need to have this in place. We need to have a satisfied, loyal customer. And then financials is going to come back. And this is the role actually for the business plan and at large. The business plan at large, when you put all these bits and pieces together, you will reach a conclusion about the balance between the customer needs and the financials. And if there is any differences, okay, put the customer first. Customer is always right. Okay, so define your customer, put your customer first, and then you will see some sort of financial or discrepancies or some sort of numbers, different in numbers. You have the financial guy with you, so you see some sort of shortage in financial, for instance. Then in this case, you will ask an investor, okay, Mr. Investor, I need this amount of money to achieve this type of targets or to satisfy this type of needs of the customer. So again, if you cannot measure it, you will never manage it. So you need to define exactly what are the customer perspectives, what are the customer needs, quantify them, and then what are the available resources. The resources, you can liquidate them, you put them in cash. So see the differences together, see the in and out, and then you will see what is missing, and then you will take the corrective action in order to move forward. Okay, we have another question. The difference between strategic plan and operation plan. Okay, as we mentioned earlier, that strategy is a way of thinking. Okay, strategy is a way of thinking. This is one time. So operation, it means the day-to-day thing. Okay, when I go to my startup or I start my day, I take a piece of paper and write down, okay, I need to talk to someone, I need to have a Zoom meeting, I need to think about, I need to develop. Okay, this is a plan of today. The plan of today and yesterday and tomorrow, this is what we call the operation plan. What do you do actually? Okay, while the strategic plan, you think, okay, I need to talk to the TRA. I need to find somebody in the TRA to talk to see how can I apply my application to them in the digital transformation. Okay, so this is a strategic plan. Why? Because it's high level. It's mainly for the top executives in the startup, the founder or the co-founders. But if I am a junior person, maybe I'm not the right person to do the strategic plan, because it needs depth of knowledge, it needs a level of seniority for a way or another. Again, it's a high level. So the strategic plan is the high level, while the operation plan is the day-to-day implementation that will make the combination of resources together interactively transform to reach our product or service. Okay? Well, in case you have question with the team, okay, then we need to think about qualifications, we need to think about credentials, we need to think about talk to your team, think about those type of characters. We need to have the ideator guy, we need to have the promoter guy, we need to have the financial guy and the techie guy. Think about the skills needed. Talk together. Entrepreneurship is a nice team game. By this, we reach the end of our presentation today. It was a really a great pleasure for me, and thank you, TRA, for availing the opportunity to talk through this amazing virtual academy. Wish you all the best with your startup, and best of luck, inshallah. Thank you.